In this video, we're going to be looking at how to create a rectangle with text on it for our multimedia story. So the first thing I'm going to do is to create two layers, one for the text background, so I'm going to call that text box, and the second layer I'm going to create, which must be on top of the first one because this is going to be for the text, I'm going to call text. Now I'm going to lock the text layer because I want to work on the text box layer first. And for the text box layer, I'm going to use the rectangle tool. Clicking on the rectangle tool, I'm actually going to choose the rectangle primitive tool because this allows me to have rounded corners. And I'm going to choose the fill color to be a light creamy color. This one's nice. And I'm not going to choose a stroke color, an outline color. I'm going to choose for the rectangle roundness to be, it's always a good idea to choose even numbers. Flash doesn't work very well with odd numbers. It tends to make them look jaggedy on the rounded corners of rectangles. So there is a workaround, but it's easier just to have even numbers for the rectangle corners. So I'm going to go with 8. You see they've all changed automatically to 8. You could also use the slider. And then I'm going to draw my rectangle on the stage like so. Now you see I've got nicely rounded corners. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to lock this layer and go to my text layer. Clicking on the text layer, I'm now ready to get the text tool. Clicking on the big capital T for the text tool. I want the color of my text to be something dark so it stands out against the light background. I'm going to choose black. You see I've got Comic Sans, the font that I've selected because that's very easy to read for children, and I've chosen size 15 points. Now I'm going to click here and I'm going to type the text for the first page of my story. It was a stormy Christmas Eve. Father Christmas had just begun his annual travels. And then I'm going to save. And if you preview the story, Control Play or Control Enter or Test Movie. I'm actually going to go back to my text box layer, and clicking on the text box, I'm going to go to the free transform tool, which is grouped with the gradient transform tool. So the free transform tool, I'm going to click on my story box and actually make that a little bit smaller. Okay, and I'm going to save. So in this tutorial, you've learned how to add your text with a text box behind it to your multimedia story.